On this episode of the Pipeline Podcast, we're going to be talking about how Echo and Blade are changing the MCU as we know it. The future of Superman and Lois is finally revealed. And is the actor strike finally over? We're going to be talking about all that and more on this episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Pipeline Podcast. I'm your host today, Daren Mcclimans, and we are joined by the one, the only, the fabulous, the amazing Chainsaw Reacts. Jordan, how are you today? How's it going?
Pretty good. What's up, man?
I am good. It's great to have you on. I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, Screwdriver Reacts kind of reached out this week and been like, hey, I'm really screwing in the competition. I'm like, I don't know, Jordan wants to come on. And then a Flamethrower Reacts says, hey, I'm really burning down the competition. I'm on fire currently. But you know what? We had to have Chainsaw Reacts on. It's super great to have you here.
Burning. God, the Flamethrower. I want to meet that guy. Yeah. This is cool, man. It's cool to hang out.
No, it's always really cool, and I don't mean to boost your ego or anything, but it's always very fun to get to work with someone that I'm a genuine fan of. Like, I've been watching your channel for so many years back when you were doing Avatar and those OG Flash season 5 and 6, right? Like, I've been watching for a while, man.
Yeah, season 4.
It's been a while, and yeah, it's been an honor going on your channel and meeting you over on Lance's channel, and it's a super honor to have you here today to talk about this crazy week, because it's been a crazy week of news.
Yes.
But before we get started, we do have some people in the chat right off the bat. Darth Chosen, how's it going? Stranger, how's it going? Laura E, how's it going? Hope everyone's having a great one. Oh man, how's your week been? This has been a really fun one. Because this week felt like there was a change. I felt like studios and stuff knew something was happening this week. Everyone started putting out trailers. November just hit, so a bunch of movies are about to come out, so they're pushing those. News were coming out. Superman and Lois stuff happened there, and of course, as we'll talk about in a couple minutes, the actor strike has ended.
Finally.
it's truly like the end of an era.
It's been chaos. It has been in a good way, right? Like, things are hopefully going to get back to normal.
100%.
Hopefully.
But we have a lot of stuff to talk about today, so we're going to just jump into our first segment of our show. I didn't tell you about this before going into it, but our first segment, how we like to introduce each show, is a show that I like to call
Okay.
Wheel of Fandoms. On the Wheel of Fandoms, this giant wheel I have with a bunch of questions will ask us a question to open up our show here. So yeah, let's just jump right into it, man. Let's just jump into it. So our wheel here is going to ask us a random question, and the chat if y'all want a question. And this week it is favorite cliffhanger in a TV show. Do you have a favorite cliffhanger? I have one in mind, and I have a feeling it could be yours as well. What's yours, do you think?
I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's the one that I thought about a lot at the time. It's the Arrow season 5, but then they ruin it because everyone pretty much lives. That's the only problem. But if you're watching live and you see that live, the explosion, you have to wait 4 or 5, 6
It was insane. That wait was insane. 100%. Yeah, no, I think that's easily mine as well. There's no, I can't even think of one that comes close for me. Just I think it's kind of like a cliffhanger done right. There's again, that wait, making people wait. Who lives? Who dies? Is the cast of Arrow just gone? Is it just Oliver Queen and his son? Is that it?
It's a reboot. After 5 years, it's a reboot. They just reboot the whole thing.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's insane. I'm even trying to think of oh wait, what's another one for? I don't just steal his answer, but it has to be it. That's the only right answer.
I don't even know.
And just that episode alone was an insane way to end the season as well. That is, and I don't want to say it's my favorite episode of TV, but it is up there. It is one of my favorite episodes of TV ever. Laura E says Doomsday versus Superman fight. That was also a really good one.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Thing about that one though, I do feel like we kind of were talking about that, like if that was possible for the like going up into that episode, where the Arrow episode, I had no idea they're going to blow up everyone. Like it never crossed my mind. Like why would
somehow
it?
Still magically lived? It's like
yeah.
I'll give you another one.
Mm-hmm.
3 ending.
You froze. I'm sorry.
Supergirl season 3 ending. The Red Daughter, right? Like their version of Red. Like I think that was pretty cool.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Also, their like mid-season was really good too when she's like falls off the building.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so good.
You knew she was gonna lose though. You knew.
Oh, but it was so good. Like that moment was a moment. Like I like Supergirl. I've had a lot of good memories of the show. That was the first time during that show where I'm like, holy shit, this show is kind of insane. Like I've never had that with that show before.
I love how it opens with Christmas music as they're fighting in the office or whatever.
Yeah.
That was good.
Oh man, absolutely. But yeah, let's jump into kind of our first topic here. We got our again massive week. We kind of just have to start. I needed to start with this. The SAG-AFTRA actor strike after like 4 months, 5 months is officially over with a tentative 3-year deal valued at $1 billion. Man, like this is truly an end of an era. Like I've started every episode of the show basically being like, well, the strike's still happening, we're still here, and I figured after like the writer's strike ended, I was like, oh, this is soon to happen. Nope, it's been like 2 months. How are you feeling now that this is all kind of done, that we're kind of moving forward a little bit?
Like you said, end of an era. It's crazy because $1 billion,
that's insane.
like my god. But I'm happy that they finally figured out the AI stuff. I think that was the biggest thing, is AI. I'm curious to see like the full details once the vote's in place, like what exactly they got.
Yeah.
Because we don't know. I thought this would have been wrapped up sooner because the writer's strike, when that was fixed, I'm like, they're going to get to the actors and get that done. I was wrong.
Yeah.
they waited forever, it felt.
I was so shocked because like I had always thought the writers would be the hardest to do, because it had always felt like studios didn't care about writers but loved their actors. Actors are the things that make these movies turn. And they're like, they stuck out. I don't know if it's because of they lost so much money on the writers. They're like, well, I don't know. I don't want to pay the actors now. I don't know what it was. But I'm glad. It's a long time coming. A lot. And honestly, they they're not even losing money on this deal. They lost so much money waiting like 5 months to pay them. Yes. Like these studios are honestly, I don't know if all of them will come out the other end. Like I think some of these studios are really going to struggle.
Yeah, they will, because they've already lost. They're also on top of that, they're losing money on streaming. So so regardless, this is a bad situation.
I think streaming is where a lot of that. I think that's where they're going to lose a lot of their money, because like they got off scot-free not paying a lot of the people that made those streaming shows anything. Like this is going to be an absolutely massive one as far as how streaming works, I guess, going forward, for sure.
Yeah, because I think this will change how they approach streaming content.
Yeah.
Because I feel that they're not going to make as much content. We were talking about this last night on council. Like now with how much money they're having now to pay more with writers and actors and directors, we don't know what that deal was, but I'm guessing it wasn't too bad because I got that done forever ago. They're going to like be very stingy on what they make. Yeah. Or they're going to make it cheaper, like in terms of how much production costs, because they got to pay their actors more, the writers more. So I don't know, man. This might. I guess it just depends on the project, and if they're willing to put the money in. That's really what it is.
I'm curious how like Netflix is going to react, because Netflix feels like they're behind the times on how streaming content made. They're still in this, we're going to drop all our episodes all at once, put millions of dollars just all at once for people to watch in 5 hours. And in my opinion, I think that's a very dumb way to operate. You could have like 8 weeks of people constantly watching your show instead of just one day. I wonder if this could be the moment they're like, okay, we can't afford this anymore. We have to make less content, so we're going to stretch out the content that we do make. I would not be shocked if this is what it takes to make that change for them. I'd be very curious.
It's possible because every other streaming service does week to week. on
Yeah.
a TV show. This is possible, yeah. Well, they've already been testing it before, but I feel like now they're like, It also depends on what the deal is with the actors, because the
Yeah.
writers' streaming residuals, it's got to be like 20% of the viewers or subscriber base has to watch within a certain frame of time, and it has to be a certain amount of views in order to get residuals. And I'm wondering if the actors got the same kind of deal or a similar deal, so that like imagine if WandaVision dropped all at once, it'd be done within a day because they're shorter episodes. That span of time, it got so big, and I feel like Netflix could benefit from that in terms of the subscriber count, because everyone's like, hey, you remember this new show that's dropping week to week? People are like, well, I dropped Netflix a while ago, but you got to watch the show. Okay. And they go back and subscribe again.
Yeah. But
if it's all at once, you do a trial and then you're done. Then you exit again.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. We'll see what happens, but this is good. I'm so happy this is done, because I was worried we're going to have to wait till next year, because that's what the studios were threatening. We're not going to get a deal done if you don't get the like. Okay.
Yeah, I am glad we kind of like, this is gonna sound very weird, but I'm glad we kind of got it done like before the holiday season kind of kicked in. Like we get to kind of enjoy it, like enjoy the rest of the year. We they won. We get to enjoy the holiday season. The next 2 months of movies can kind of finally get out, because a lot of movies are coming out this month and a lot are coming out next month. And I think I feel so bad for the Marvel's cast. They missed it by 1 day. They could have.
It's ridiculous. It's terrible.
And like Miss Marvel, the actress who plays Miss Marvel, like I guarantee she was so excited for that. Like this was her first big premiere, her first big thing as an actress, because this was her first real kind of role, right? So. And again, this is like Marvel is her dream, like being there with all the press and all the cast and all that. Like that's her dream. And I hate that she got to miss out. I hope that she gets a lot more movies going forward. Like we don't know how this movie's going to do, but I hope she has a lot more.
I think Miss Marvel will be fine. I think her as an actress will be fine. I just hate the fact that they couldn't promote properly the movie, at least doing the press together, because the three of them, especially Iman and Brie Larson, like they would be having so much fun. So
yeah, I'm I don't have Captain Marvel as one of our topics today, but I was very excited for that movie. I was very I love that cast, and I really wanted this movie to be good, and like stuff come out this week and a lot of people were like, hey, this movie could be better. And of course I want to go into this movie with my own opinion, with my own mind. I don't want to judge like Rotten Tomatoes, because we know they've been very iffy in the past. So I'm going to be very curious. Do you think this movie's going to be good?
I don't know. I'm honestly, as long as it's fun, like if I can have fun with it, that's what really matters to me. I'm not expecting a 10 out of 10 masterpiece over here.
Yeah.
But if there's some people that say, hey, it's not that great, and if I come out going, I'm like, okay, guys, you had plenty of time.
Yeah.
Because you announced this thing a while back. So I don't know. I think they announced it officially 2020.
After Endgame. Yeah.
2020, yeah.
I think this is the last proper project that they announced, kind of like, oops, the heck?
Oh, camera went out.
This is like the first project they announced like after the Endgame slate. So like with your Hawkeye, with your Moon Knight, like this is the last one, and now we're kind of entering this new era of Disney. So I don't know, man. I again, like Marvel's been doing, it's been a weird era for Marvel recently. Like these, we have some Marvel stuff to talk about later, but like these last couple months, it's like so much is coming out about what's happening behind the scenes, and
yeah, it's not good.
I think there's a clear issue. I think
they got to get their stuff in order for sure. Is what needs to happen.
100%. Yeah. But do you have any final thoughts on the SAG-AFTRA, them getting this through?
It took forever, but they got it done. That's what matters. They got it done, and hopefully they get it, because they got to get it voted through Friday. So let's hope and pray that it goes. I'm assuming it will, but you never know.
It seems like this feels like we need a deal right now. So here's a 3-year deal, and then we can circle back around in a couple years.
Well, that's the thing. It's every 3 years they have a new deal. I feel like they should have an extension. Like, let's do a really big
Yeah.
Like upgrade here and do 5 years. And then let's come back to the table. But then again, AI keeps evolving. That's probably why
Yeah.
it's better not to extend further, because then they'll find, ooh, can we manipulate something that
Loophole.
wasn't in
Yeah.
the loophole, or something not in the contract? This is new now with AI. This was in the contract now. We can use this now. Yeah.
Let's read some comments here before we move on. Laura E said, I hear that Miss Marvel is the star of the movie. I kind of knew that going in. I always thought that she was going to be, or at least that was like the vocal point for me to really be excited for this movie, just seeing her react to these two heroes and seeing how excited she is to kind of be part of it. She just seems like such a gem.
Yeah, I can't wait to see her in it. Yeah, she's awesome. I really liked her show. So
yeah, same. It was a fun show. Mr. Groff said, such a bummer for Brie Larson. I really like her as Captain Marvel. I just think she hasn't had the best material to work with. I agree with that. I agree. I think this movie was... I think this was her chance to hopefully win people over, right? Because she had her... Because she's been cast as Captain Marvel for a while, but she hasn't really been in that much stuff. Like, she's had her movie, she's had Endgame, and then she's had a cameo. Like, she hasn't had that much to work with, and I think this could have been her time, but... We'll see, I guess.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, I think she's going to play more of a role in the future installments, but it's just taking forever to get there is the problem.
Yeah. Lori also said, I heard that the Marvels had a lot of reshoots and rewrites. Yeah, but that's every Marvel project now, man. I almost feel like it's impossible not to, you know?
Yeah, that's pretty much
at least in this era. Yeah, this like the Bob era. I guess it's both the Bob era, but like you know what I mean. Yeah, the post like Bob Iger era. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last question here. I just hope Captain Marvel is in King Dynasty. I'd be shocked if she isn't in the Avengers movies.
Oh, like, she'll be in there. Don't
yeah,
worry.
I'd be shocked if she wasn't.
Yeah.
Alrighty, moving right along here. We kind of like combined some news stories here. The live action How to Train Your Dragon adaptation and the Penguin series have both been delayed. How to Train Dragon to June 2025 and the Penguin of fall 2024. Any shocks here? Are you excited for either of these projects at all?
The Penguin series is interesting for sure. I think that little trailer they put out was cool. How to Train Your Dragon, I feel like we don't need it in live action, in my opinion. That's just me. I love the trilogy. And I haven't seen this series because they've done a variety of series, but I don't need a live action movie, in my opinion. Don't need it. Because all they're going to do is just do the first movie in live action. I don't need it. The first movie was so good. But the Penguin show, I love the fact they're doing that. That's cool. It's like not a Penguin movie, but a show set in that universe. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sucks.
Sorry.
It sucks they're delayed, but I get it because, you know, they got to push stuff off.
Yeah, I mean, the How to Train Your Dragon movie, I mean, that franchise is probably one of my favorite like film franchises of all time. Like this was like a my generation type movie. I grew up on those movies, all three of them. They mean the world to me. I love the shows. This one's because when it happened, this has been a weird thing because like I've had talks with my mom about reboots for years now, where it's like, well, you just don't want to watch this movie because you grew up on it and you're attached to it. But now there's a movie that I love that's getting rebooted, and it's like, oh, how do I feel that something that I love is also now getting like rebooted? What does that mean? I like that it's the original director coming back to do this. I like that he's involved. The fact that it seems to be his vision and his passion does make me excited for this a little bit. Also very nervous. I think those dragons could look horrendous if done wrong. They could look really bad, but also could look really cool if they put enough budget into it. So we'll see.
I would prefer another movie in the franchise. Not necessarily like a fourth movie in the trilogy that's already been established, but maybe a new story within that. Yeah, like kind of spinoff. Yeah, I'd rather prefer that.
I would love a prequel. I would love like a stoic movie or something, showing him like, maybe it's too brutal because he would just be killing all the dragons, but like I feel like that could be kind of cool if done right.
I mean, you could have like that prequel, but maybe you focus on another character, that is killing, but maybe doesn't want to, and then bonds with the dragon, just like how he does. You know, I think that'd be really cool. Cool, man. Yeah, but hey, that's too creative. They
Yeah,
gotta
I
go.
know.
It's too creative. Ooh, we can't do that. Come on.
Yeah, it is what it is. I'll unfortunately still be there day one because it's how to
Mm.
Train Your Dragon.
I mean, I'll check out the trailers. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll check them out, but you know.
Yeah, I get you. I really do. And then Penguin, I like the Penguin. I liked him in the movie. I wouldn't say I'm I'm so hyped for the Penguin. I think it's going to be I think this is going to be a project where I walk out of it and be like, that was a really good show, but maybe not my all-time favorite show because of how it's structured. Like I think the internet's going to hate the show because it's not like a superhero show, right? It's going to be like a mob crime story.
I think certain fans will, because
Yeah.
they know going in it's a drama dark series that isn't, because I don't think we're going to see Batman in this. I think he'll be referenced. We won't see him. I don't know though. You know,
I think he might make like an end of the series cameo, like the last
Possibly.
30 seconds of the show. He'll be like, "I'm Batman,"
Yeah.
and just leaves. Hero's Journey said, "Is he gonna ride a duck?"
Possible.
Yeah, there's not much going on here, but I just thought we'd kind of reference it, kind of feel how we're feeling on those.
But at least Penguin, like they have shot stuff for it, so we have seen footage. It does look good. It's just, get back to shooting, get it done. Come on, I'm ready.
100%. And fall, I think fall's actually a better time for this show to come out. Like, I feel like this gives me a lot better fall vibes and like January, February vibe. I think it was like January, February, March, kind of that era.
You want some snow? Like, no.
He is a penguin, I guess. I guess,
but fall makes more sense because
fall makes
it's Batman.
October, 100%.
Makes more sense.
Moving on here, we talked about things that are getting pushed, but things are still staying here. What If and Creature Commandos will keep their current release dates. What If being next month, apparently, and Creature Commandos being also next fall. So DC's going to have a lot of DC stuff next fall. Are you excited for either of these projects? Both of, I know you talk a lot about like the animated stuff over on your channel. Are you these things that you're excited for?
Oh yeah, I thought What If season 1 was awesome. I really enjoyed it. There was some, but I overall enjoyed what they were doing because it was so interesting. The animation style is really cool. I like the look of it. I do question why there's no marketing, like at all. Because What If season 1, they had a trailer out months before it came out, and I'm like, where's the trailer? And they're like, So I bet they were like, if say we didn't get a deal done, they would have pushed it. But I think that, I don't know. I'm maybe they'll drop a trailer tomorrow after Loki.
Yeah,
maybe
that'd be cool.
Creature Commandos. I mean, like these two animations. Like the fact is, the voice acting was done a long time ago.
Yeah,
or for the most part, so they're fine. What If was definitely done a long time ago. Creature Commandos, the animation's the biggest thing. Like it takes the most time. But I'm excited for both. I like the James Gunn is going weird as shit. Like Creature Commandos, like what? But that's James Gunn for you. He did Guardians. Like he brought in some weird characters. He had Howard the Duck in all three. Of course he's gonna. If people are like still confused, like what is he doing? Like that's what James Gunn does. He brings really obscure characters into the mix. And then think of all the side characters in the Guardians movies. Like, who would think you would ever see them in the MCU? Well, if it wasn't for James Gunn, you wouldn't have. And if it probably wasn't for James Gunn, you wouldn't have Howard the Duck walking through an in-game portal with a giant gun bigger than him. So, Creature Commando, that makes sense. And I think the cast for Creature Commandos is awesome.
It's really good.
That's really cool. Yeah, I'm excited for both. Yeah. I'm curious to see what the DCU, because I'm guessing Creature Commandos is going to be referencing stuff that's going to help us introduce to what the DCU is. Like, maybe a Batman reference, or maybe like something that happened in the past that is connected. It's like, ooh, what does that mean? Like, how does that tie in? Like, I think the show's going to do really cool things, or maybe it's going to be more of a standalone where it's like, we don't want to reveal too much. I bet Superman Legacy is going to be the real opener. Yeah. And this is going to be kind of like an appetizer. That's fine.
No, I think there's a reason. Like, I'm very excited for this. I think my only kind of thing against it is not against it. It was just kind of like this being the first is definitely a choice, I think, as for many audiences. Like when you start a universe, not in a million years would I have guessed Creature Commandos because I didn't know who the Creature Commandos were. So I definitely would never have guessed it. But again, like that's why I am so excited for it, because I don't know these characters. I haven't read their comics. Most people probably haven't read their comics, and I get to learn with I get to learn with the audience, and I get to have fun with that. And again, like you said, James Gunn is so good when it comes to the characters he brings in and making us care for them. Every one of his projects, I've absolutely his superhero projects, I've absolutely adored. So yeah, I'm very excited. I'm glad it's still set for next year. It's a while. I'm very excited for the DCU, and it's feels like it's been forever since we've heard anything. Hopefully, we're going to get some new casting for some of that stuff really soon. What if season 2? I really enjoyed the first season. I thought a lot of it was really fun. My first thought after watching the Echo trailer, which we are talking about a bit later, was oh, this is really, really cool. Wait, what about What If, which comes out a month prior to that? I don't know what the choice was there. I'm just glad it's coming out, because that thing was supposed to come out 2 years ago. It's been done for a while. So I'm glad it's coming out. I'm glad they can just put it out, and hopefully people can enjoy a Christmas MCU thing again. So
oh yeah, I mean it definitely is gonna be, because I think there's an episode that was supposed to be in season 1 that's in season 2 because they didn't finish it or something. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see what they do with it. I'm honestly wondering if they're going to drop it all at once this year, because I feel like this might be a show that would work better as a binge it.
I mean, it's possible. It's possible.
Yeah, I'll be very interested. I'll be very interested to see what they do. Yeah, let's move on to our next thing here. So Superman and Lois. This news came out. I'm kidding. I'm not even kidding. 30 minutes after my last stream last Thursday. I'm literally posting it to Spotify, and it comes out, and I'm like, gosh dang it, you could have come out 3 hours ago. We could have talked about it then.
You could have easily had it as a big push. Check out the podcast. Look, it's brand new
live reaction.
Yeah,
no, so yeah, I'm super late to this. Me and you have talked about it a couple times by this point over on Eric's channel, maybe Lance's channel. I don't know. It's been out for a while.
No, he didn't talk about it Tuesday. That was a whole thing.
Yeah.
you pointed that out. We didn't even talk about it. He's like, oops.
It's been a week since this has all been out. How are you kind of feeling now that we now know it's the final season?
Well, I'm glad that we're at least getting another season. I hate the fact we're cutting a bunch of cast. I hate the fact we're cutting writers. We're cutting budget. But I'm happy that the show's ending. Properly versus getting canceled. That would be a disaster. Especially how we were mentioning earlier about the cliffhanger. If we didn't get a season 4, oh my god, it'd be like Legends all over again. It'd be horrible.
Yeah. So
I'm happy that they're ending on their own terms, because there's a chance that it wouldn't have happened. And it's but I'm happy that they're ending and they're able actually to prepare, versus in the middle of shooting, oh, by the way, you're not getting a season 5, you're done. So I'm glad that they know ahead of time so they can actually prepare and plan it. So that's good. I'm glad that, they get to end instead of being canceled, because then people are still avoiding it. They got canceled. No, they didn't. No.
Yeah.
Guys. No, they did not.
We have to fight this fight every time a CW show ends. Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, Black Lightning, which Black Lightning kind of was, but but every time one of these shows ends, people it's very clear people literally don't know the difference, and that's not a bad thing. But maybe don't run a blog if you don't know the difference between ended and canceled. Maybe look that up before you press publish. You know what I mean?
That is the greatest thing ever. Don't run a blog if you don't know grammar.
yeah, that's definitely probably something you should learn. No, I think I talked about it with you earlier in the week. I was kind of happy when I saw this news, and again, one of my favorite shows. I love Superman and Lois. This says a lot of the Arrowverse shows I fell in love with because they were Arrowverse shows, and they were connected to an overall universe. And when they disconnected it, and that was a whole thing. That was a massive thing. And I did realize, especially going into this, and I genuinely love the show, not because it's part of this other world. It's just a genuinely really, really good show. Tyler's probably my Superman. Betsy's my Lois. They have made just absolute magic with the show every season. And let's hope they don't run to that season 4 curse that so many of these shows have run into.
And the thing is, well, they have 10 episodes. They don't have a huge chunk of like 18, 20 plus. So it's more of a disaster. If they have just 10, at least it won't be as bad if it is a curse. But I mean, they've proven time and time again how good they can write stories, different kinds of stories. So I am optimistic that they're gonna. But the issue is that they just don't have a lot of their main leads anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you're gonna do for time. Like, are you gonna have it to where you're gonna have the 4 of them, the family and Lex, just being every scene? Like, how is that gonna work? I don't know.
I think we're going to see some of those people back, but I think like each episode is going to be a different one. So it's going to be like under the guest star role. So one episode it might be Kyle, one episode it might be Sarah. Then you get Kyle. John for 15 minutes, and
Kyle, oh God, can we not have Kyle?
Not a fan of Kyle, huh?
I don't like Kyle. No, he's
Kyle. Man, if a roller coaster was a character, his name would be Kyle. Because I'll be like, you know what, Kyle's doing some really cool stuff. Oh no!
He's a dirtbag.
Cool. Oh no, he's back down. He cheated on his wife for some reason.
When they first introduced, he was just an ass. He's just like,
by the end of season 1, I loved Kyle. I was like, actually, they're doing some cool. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I don't know what you're doing with Kyle. But apparently he's back, and Lana's seems like Lana's not. So I don't know what that's about.
I have no idea. I don't blame actors if they don't want to come back after what happened. I mean, that's pretty messed up. So, you know.
Yeah, I think this season, honestly, I think this season's either going to be the best or the worst, because they had plenty of time to be thinking about what the season's going to be. Like, they at home, I hope they were typing out this grandiose script, like, oh my gosh, Darkseid comes in, and I don't know, like like they had the time to write a really, really good script.
You made the joke that like they get the whole season done and literally, and they go, Darkseid what? And then it cuts, and then it's credits.
That's crazy. I honestly, I don't think a CW Darkseid would look very good. Like, people have, like, again, we've been in this Arrowverse fandom for years, and once a year I saw someone be like, they should get Darkseid for the Arrowverse crossover, and I'm like, would we want that though? Would we?
He would murder everybody. He'd murder everybody. They would have no chance against a god. Sorry, there's no way.
Oh gosh, it would look horrible.
Not
I don't know. Hero's Journey said, well, here's my question. I went to see Arrowverse guest on Superman Lois season 4. That's not a question, that's a statement. But do you want to see?
Grammar.
I suck at grammar. I should not be roasting people about grammar or anything.
No, but that's a fair point. That is a statement, not a question.
But do you think any Arrowverse characters will make cameos?
The only one that makes sense is Flash.
Yeah.
Because of the multiverse angle. But just to mess with Hero's Journey, Supergirl.
She would be the one I would want as well.
I mean, I just want her to just kind of stand around and just go,
yeah,
I'm Supergirl, and just kind of stand there, and we just keep the camera on her. I mean, the Flash makes the most sense because of the multiverse thing. I don't know if he would pull anybody. I would just assume that he would just show up on that Earth for some reason.
Yeah.
By accident, like how he showed up at Supergirl's Earth by accident in season 1 when they did that crossover, which was really cool. Mm-hmm. They paid homage to that. He would show up on this Earth by accident because they're testing something in the labs, and he gets, oh, I'm stuck, and then he runs into them. So I don't know. Sure, it'd be cool, but I don't know because Grant's gonna be busy with that play. So
Broadway, right?
Yeah,
which
Broadway.
Is amazing. I'm so happy for him.
I think in New York. I think. Yeah. So he's not even gonna be anywhere close to this. So
yeah, I didn't think about that. The chances of him showing up are unlikely.
Yeah, because I think when they start shooting, he'll be starting his play.
Yeah. I don't need any. Listen, if they announce someone showing up, I'll be beyond excited. I'll be like, yes, I'm so excited.
Oh my god.
What happened?
Sorry, I'm caught. Sorry, there's just he's causing drama in the chat. I'm not supporting you. Lie too much. Anyways, I'm not going to do anything because Daren, I respect you, sir. And I'm not going to go down this road because I'm so happy to be here. I'm not going to say what I want to say. Mm-hmm. But anyways.
No. I was just saying, like, they made the choice to separate themselves. That was a thing that the CW wanted, and again, I was really sad when that happened. Like going into the show, like I felt like the last 2 seasons were like a lie because I went in thinking this was like a spinoff to a show I really loved. I'm fine. Just like you made that choice, lie in it, do a 10-episode season, wrap it all up, and I'm okay. I don't need any characters, but I would still be hyped if like Supergirl showed up. I'd be like, oh my god!
Like, I get the point that people want crossover stuff, but they've never had Diggle from Another Earth or their Diggle.
Gosh.
Like, but yeah, we don't need it. That's fine. You know,
man, leave Diggle at home. I love Diggle.
Yeah,
leave him at home.
Get the Diggle claws. Yeah. I mean, the only thing is too is like they should have just said way sooner during season 1 that this is not the same Superman and Lois from Earth Prime. That's what they should have said. But did they? No.
Nope.
They waited till like Grandpa was talking. I've seen all the worlds, and like,
you know what they should have done?
What?
If we knew this back then, I would have done like a Brandon Routh show instead. Literally do a Brandon Routh Kingdom Come show, have it set on that Earth, and it's no biggie. It's like there you don't have to do anything with them because it's separate. That honestly, like as much as I love Tyler and I would miss Tyler, that would have been like the least messy way to have done it. I think.
Well, I agree because I think there was rumors of them wanting to do a Kingdom Come Brandon Routh show, which would be awesome. But...
and I feel like they can still do it. Like just put it under your like Elseworld cover. In, like,
exactly.
8 years. Yeah, 100%. Let's see what Laura E said. Like a lot of people wanted Crisis on Infinite Earths, and people think that crossover is weaker. I do. I think that's a weird crossover because I think it's very, very cool. But there's definitely a lot of issues with that crossover.
Too many cameos that don't really matter. It's just like, ooh, cameo. I get it. At the time, I'm like, oh my god, look, Birds of Prey. Oh, they got Burt Ward. But then it takes away from the budget, and they don't have a lot. They can't do anything. They're just standing around chatting all the time. I'm like, what is this? Because I would love to see remember that scene when Kingdom Come Superman comes back and he slams his fist on the wave ride because he's mad and he lost another one. We could have maybe seen that, but didn't have the budget. So we said, spring by the wave. Oh, I'm so mad. But I will say the only real big positive, Kevin Conroy's live action Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'm like, I'll take that though. I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, there's so many, like, it sucks because, like, I am 100%. I would have rathered other multiversal characters from the Arrowverse and DC TV over just plain cameos. Like, I would have loved throw Thea in there, throw Black Canary in there, throw more of the actual Arrowverse. I mean, like Ray from the last crossover could have shown up, and I that's the kind of stuff I would have liked to have seen more of. But at the same time, when I think of all the cameos, it's like, oh, but keep this one. But I'm like, oh no, keep this one. I like Tom Welling, and then Lucifer. Oh, that's cool. And then Kevin Conroy.
Yeah,
like, there's so many. It's like I don't want to give them up either.
The Lucifer cameo actually was a story plot point.
Yeah,
but most of them are just like, ooh, cutting this earth. Ooh, it's like it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Whatever.
100%.
Oh, well.
Do you have any final thoughts on Superman Lois stuff? I assume I'll talk about this more on the show as it gets closer to the season.
No, I mean, I'm just glad they're ending on their own terms versus getting canceled, because that's always the fear when you're making television, especially when you're invested in as a viewer or making it. Yeah. You don't want to like go, oh, or you're done, and you're not really notified about it. It's like, I'm glad it's ending.
No, I think this is going to be, this and Stargirl, I think are going to be the two shows people look back on and be like, that was a good show. And a lot of people aren't watching it now, but I think they will. Once it's over in 5, 6, 7 years, they'll be like, why did no one watch the show? This is a great show.
I kind of hope that kind of happens with Gotham, because I feel like people slept on Gotham. People watched it, enjoyed it like I did, but I feel like there's a lot of people that were like, and I was like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like, same thing is probably going to happen. It's going to be like, ooh, the entire Superman Lois. Okay, let's check this out. And then they're going to binge through it.
Smallville has got really popular over this last year. Like, it feels like everyone's watching Smallville right now, and they're like, the show kind of slaps, actually. Like, it's actually not that bad.
Now that you said that 3W is going to show up.
Oh, gosh.
You shouldn't have said that. He heard you calling him. He's gonna come running.
Fortunately, he's watching the Marvels currently, so.
Oh, his ears are probably burning right now. He's like, I gotta get out of here.
That's why he's not here. Moving along here. This was okay. So I didn't know if I should put this on here because I think this is one of the most no-brainer topics we've ever talked about because it is literally the cliffhanger. But I saw this article came out this week and I was like, you know what? Let's throw it in here. The Shredder will reportedly play a major role in the Mutant Mayhem sequel. Did you see Mutant Mayhem? Are you excited for the sequel? Are you excited to see more of Shredder?
Yeah, I reacted to it on my channel. It was really fun to watch the movie. I love the animation style. I like the story they told. Like it was a little bit different. They're actually kids. They're actually teens.
Yeah.
Versus being grown adults called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's like what? But I love the fact that we're getting. But I also love the fact they made us wait.
Yes.
Because Shredder, they easily could have done Shredder in the first movie, but they made us wait. In terms of like, we'll reportedly play original, like reportedly, watch the movie. That will tell you.
Yeah.
Now it'd be different if they said actually he plays a minor role because we're actually saving for 3. Okay, but that's not what they're doing. Now who's gonna be the third? Is it gonna be the Krang? If they get to a third, I'm guessing. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is cool. I thought the design what they showed of him was cool, of this version of him. But we'll see. You know.
Yeah, I'm excited. I was very curious when they were going to do not Krang. I like when they were going to do Shredder because I had a theory that they might save him for like their Thanos. Like they would wait until movie 3 or 4 and have him behind everything over the course of all the shows and movies. But we are doing a movie 2. And I'm excited how the show sets it up because the show comes out in a couple of months. Like it's about to come out next, like early next year. Yeah. I'm very excited to see if they set him up at all there, if they're going to be teases or Easter eggs to him, what villains we do there, because they already used a lot of villains in the first movie. Yeah. Like they used a good amount of their like Rose Gallery, ones that we've typically never seen before. So I think that's very cool. And not saying they don't have more because Turtles have so many villains to pull from. So I'm going to be very curious and see what the Shredder, see what he has. Because again, there has been so many versions of Shredder. Every Turtles franchise basically has their own Shredder. So I'll be very curious to see how they set him apart.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Alrighty, moving along. So this was a massive week for trailers, teasers. We have 3 here. Avatar, I heard, was coming out today, so I threw it in here, even though it's not out yet. It should be out like within the hour. It seems like maybe.
Should be.
So let's kind of go in a row here, talk about some of these. So Ghostbusters, 4, 3, 5, however you want to put it.
Yeah, I guess it's the 4th. I guess.
Kind of, unless you count the one. I don't think you count
16,
the one.
They're not, but those they're not. They're playing different characters, so I guess it's the 4th.
I saw that you uploaded a reaction to this movie. You had said that you're kind of like a casual Ghostbusters fan, right?
Yeah, it's. I like it. I didn't grow up loving it like some people who grew up loving Ghostbusters, or at least they were introduced to it when they were a kid. It's fun. And I think the teaser's cool. I like the fact that it's different. Like, it's like frozen in the summer. Like, okay, so who's the? And then you see at the end like kind of an ice ghost. Like, what does this mean? Like, I like the fact that it's a different thing. That just another haunting that they have to go deal with. This is something that's affecting the whole entire New York. A little different. It was a nice teaser. It was good.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I binged the first 2 movies during COVID because the third one was supposed to come out that year, and I was like, I better get caught up. It didn't. Took them 2 extra years for that to come out. I loved Afterlife. I thought Afterlife was such a fun follow-up franchise. I thought it honored the past of the Ghostbusters, but also rung in like a new like generation to the fan base.
Mhm.
And I thought this teaser did a really, really good job kind of showing off what this movie's gonna be. The cast looks so much larger. Everyone's suiting up in these Ghostbusters suits. I didn't think that like Paul Rudd would get like a suit, so
Oh,
that
cool.
kind of shocked me.
You kind of figured, yeah.
And yeah, I love the icy vibes as well. Like I was thinking, like when I saw it, I was like, coming out spring, why not like Halloween? It's Ghostbusters. But once you see the trailer, it's like, oh yeah, this is like a summer movie. This
Mm.
makes sense why it's like a spring movie.
Mm.
Do you have any like again? It's hard because this movie doesn't give us a lot. Were like you shocked that like all the actors came back? Like I was not expecting like Bill Murray in this movie.
I was surprised they highlighted them in the
Yeah.
teaser, but at the same time, they teased and hinted in the last one in the trailer. You had to go see the
Yeah.
movie to see them, but in this, they're
Mhm.
like, I guess it's like we're not going to try to hide them because I guess they're going to use that as a marketing push to get people to actually.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the last one, not the first one, the last one
Mhm.
didn't do as well as it could have, and I feel
Yeah.
like I think it's because we didn't actually outright show that they're in the movie. But then again,
Mhm.
they didn't have a big role. So I feel like they might have a more significant
Bigger
role
Yeah.
or more time so that they can actually use them in the marketing.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I mean, the first one was weird because it came out like just as theaters opened back up from COVID. So
Mhm.
people were still not going back to the theaters. We're like, we're not going out. We're not getting sick again.
Right.
So it didn't do. I mean, I think it did well enough. Like, I think it did well enough to warrant a sequel. Like guarantee, what the time era was. But I'm glad that they I don't know. I guess I'm glad that they gave them a sequel because a lot of that. Like if a movie fails, sometimes they just don't give them sequels. They're like, well, we didn't get money, so screw you. Next year, no, okay. So I'm going out on a limb. Have you seen Mean Girls? Have you ever seen it? Okay, I kind of figured that. I didn't want to assume you could love Mean Girls. I enjoy the movie a lot. I was excited for this because I love the movie and I've never like seen the musical, so I was like, okay, this is going to adapt the musical. The thing about the trailer though is they didn't show off any of the musical.
I heard this. Like people were like, what are they doing?
It's just a reboot. Like the trailer just shows like all that kind of stuff. I was excited to hear some of the music and see what they did. So hopefully the movie actually is a musical. Like
apparently if you watch like certain bits, you can see where people are choreographed moving or something. But if you're not really paying attention, you're like, oh, just a reboot.
It's a weird choice for sure. Like, I don't know if they're trying to market it towards the people who've just seen the movie and it's like, hey, it's a new Mean Girls, come see our movie.
Yeah.
Hopefully then, and of course this was, actually, I think this was like a proper trailer. It wasn't even a teaser. So, I don't know. Hopefully the next one shows more. I won't spend too much time on that. Avatar, totally, there's a new trailer. No, are you excited for Avatar? The trailer comes out soon.
Oh, yeah. Look, I will say though, I am a little because the creators of Avatar left.
Yeah,
I hate the fact that they're not there, so that makes me kind of worried. But looking at that poster, and you see the little bit of Appa from when you see like the horns, I'm like, this is what the movie should have been. But I don't know, because there might be something in that trailer that comes out today that makes you go, now I know why they left. I don't know. I'm wondering if it's because of like how many episodes they wanted to do. If it was like I think it might be story. Yeah, I think they mentioned about creative differences. I don't know. Maybe it's certain actors they didn't want a part of it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I doubt that though, because they got a lot of no names in here or people we don't recognize or know.
Yeah,
but I'm still excited because I love Avatar and I want there to be a good live action adaptation, or at least something Avatar live action that's good. So that poster is amazing. I love it. I can't deny, regardless of my because the creators left. It looks beautiful.
I haven't seen the Avatar movie, but
do not, Daren.
Just based off what I've heard, this poster is 10 times better than the movie.
It'll make you love the animated show more.
Yeah.
But you'll also have a really, really disdain towards, I cannot believe this was made.
I've seen things about it, and I'm just like, why?
Avoid it.
Like, it's so apparent, just based off things I've seen. It's so apparent they never watched the show. They're just like, this Aang guy is cool, I guess. Let's make a movie.
Yeah, well, no, his name. Do you know his name in the live action?
Ong, right?
Ong.
It's so
And
dumb.
it's Iro, not Iroh. And
Gosh.
and the actor who plays Zuko is not a bad actor. I forget his name, but he's done a lot of great stuff since then. He towers over Aang. Like he's so tall against him.
Yeah.
And it's like an adult talking to a child. It is awkward as hell.
Yeah.
And you'll start noticing other things too. The Fire Nation wear all black. They're not wearing red. The actual clothes of Katara and Sokka's like, oh my god, that's not what they wear. And then same thing with Aang. Like nowhere does he wear that from that poster. No. What is this? And it takes 4 earthbenders to move a small rock.
I heard that. Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, if you watch that little clip of just them doing a bunch of moves and one little rock floats, you're gonna be like,
I've seen the clip. Yeah.
So don't watch it. No.
Yeah. No. I'm just excited Avatar content's coming back because this is this year. And then next year, Avatar Studios should be dropping with their first movie, apparently, unless it gets pushed back. I don't know.
I think it said 2025. I think.
Yeah. So, okay. So, yeah.
Maybe.
Well, this is next year, and then the following year is that.
Yeah. So
is what I mean.
We might get a trailer for it next year.
Yeah.
I think that's the young adult.
Yes, that's the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm like, okay, we know Zuko's going to be in it. Okay, we know that's true.
Yeah.
We're going to have Azula in it. Azula. Which I love saying that. Azula. I miss saying that. I can bring it back now because I'm assuming Azula is going to be in that. I think she's in season 1.
Yeah, she is.
Because they cast her. So maybe that's probably one of the problem. Like, you're adding in characters not supposed to be here because she's supposed to wait till season 2. Who cares? Bring in Azula. Who cares? Come on, it's Azula. It's amazing.
I'm excited. I think I'm gonna be I'm very curious to see what the creators were not so happy with. Like we already heard there's some age differences, and I assume the rumor is they're gonna have some shippings in here that wasn't in the original.
Well, Sokka and Katara ages are flipped.
Yeah.
So I think that might be one of them.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for it, man. Are you gonna cover the show over on your channel?
Yes. I'm gonna try to get screeners. I doubt it, but I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
Whether through myself or Multiverse of Color, I'm gonna try. I gotta get this show.
That's really good. Yeah, I'm excited. I can't say it looks good yet. We haven't really seen it, but I'm excited. And last year we have Inside Out 2. Have you seen the trailer for this yet? Okay. So I guess there's not really anything to really spoil outside of things we already knew. Have you seen the first one at least?
I have not.
Okay.
It's one of the. Is it Pixar, right? Yeah, Pixar.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of the few Pixar movies I've not actually seen at least once. Now I've heard it's great. I heard it's fun. Is Lois Black Anger or whatever? Like, yeah, like that's perfect casting, by the way. But I've heard it's great. I've seen clips on TikTok and stuff as you scroll through people, post. But I've never seen it all the way. I should though.
Interesting. Yeah, I love Inside Out. I think it's one of the better Pixar. Pixar puts out phenomenal stuff. I love Pixar. They're my favorite studio, and this is still like one of my favorite Pixar movies. It's absolutely amazing. I think if there's any Pixar franchise to like make more content and keep making sequels and spin-offs and stuff, I think it's Inside Out because there's so much you can do there. Like I have pitched for years. I know you haven't seen the movie, but I've pitched the idea of doing like an Inside Out show where each season is following like a new person and what they're going through and like following their emotions. I think it would be really, really cool. But no, trailer, love the trailer. It was a teaser. I wanted more. I was like, no, not just 30 seconds. This isn't me. This is mean.
That's how they get you. Well, is it like summer of next year it's coming out or something?
June. It's next June.
Okay, so definitely a teaser. It makes sense. But that's still cool. They could have made you wait, right? They could have made you wait till next year. So, that's cool.
Yeah, let's move along here to Marvel Spotlight. So this is we're heading towards the end of the stream here. We have a bunch of Marvel news. A bunch of major stuff came out with Marvel this week. Obviously, the Loki finale, is in a couple of hours. I don't know if you're watching Loki currently. The
I've only seen
Marvels.
episode 1 of season 2.
Okay. The Marvels comes out like in a couple hours for some people.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of news came out this week. It's been a big MCU week. We'll talk about it a little bit. So Marvel Spotlight is being introduced to the MCU to feature more dark and grounded stories. And the first being Echo, which we're going to be talking about in a couple minutes here. What is your opinion on just kind of the idea of Marvel Spotlight? Because this could, I think, be a big thing.
This is interesting. I will say, though, the logo makes me think of Disney animated for kids. I will say
Sure.
the more, because I really think about it till you showed it here. I'm like, it's like, I mean, it's Disney, but still, it's like,
Yeah.
am I watching Mickey Mouse? Or am I watching MCU TV MA stuff here?
Yeah.
I like the fact they're doing this. That means Daredevil's going to be under this, clearly.
100%.
I think this is a smart idea. And the fact is they surprised us.
Mhm.
Because they didn't announce for an Echo is going to be TVMA. Never
Yeah.
once did when they announced they're talking about Echo TVMA.
Yeah,
Never
that
once.
you would think that they would when they're like when they announced the show. Like they booed Kevin Feige when like when he's going through all the projects because people didn't want Echo. Say that and maybe people would be like, "Oh, that's kind of interesting actually."
Yeah, we're going darker. We're going Daredevil
Yeah.
route. But so I think it's a smart decision because it also goes to show that Marvel is willing to step outside of the box, if you will,
Yeah.
of what they've been doing over the last couple of phases. Just change the logo, just make it more, not so Disney-fied. I get it, but this is TVMA and R-rated because I'm assuming Blade is going to be kind of in the spotlight where it'll be connected to the MCU, but we're not. It's going to be darker.
You're not going to have to watch Blade to understand Avengers, it seems.
And if they do, it'd be weird. But I'm assuming Blade's going to pop up in PG-13 content. It's just that his movie isn't going to directly tie into Kang Dynasty. Who knows? It might. I doubt it.
Mhm.
Kang just shows up. I'm here, Blade. It's like, okay. How do I fight this? I've been fighting vampires for an hour and a half. How do I fight you? So he's a vampire king. That's what it is. That's the secret. He's a vampire king. Yeah, but it's cool. I like that Marvel's doing this. They should have announced it earlier though. Not till after Echo. Ooh,
I will say I think Spotlight is a very I think this is a last minute thing. I don't think Spotlight was a thing like a month ago.
Oh really?
I don't. I think after them retooling Daredevil and stuff, I think they needed a win after all of this variety stuff that they're like, we need to win people over. So here's the Echo trailer. It's dark. This is what you've been asking for. Because Spotlight is literally what we've been asking for since Daredevil came out. Was like, hey, we want these dark stuff, but we also want it in the MCU. That's what we've been begging for. That's what these shows should have been. I'm not saying every show needs to be dark and gritty. Loki is great. Miss Marvel is great. But people want these darker, grounded storylines. Deadpool is is so refreshing because it is that's what we've been wanting. We've been wanting these darker storylines. So all of this, I do think it was kind of a little bit of a scapegoat though of people are reading these articles, the Marvel movies are coming out. That's obviously going to get a lot of hate from a certain part of the internet. We need a win. So here's the Loki. Loki's been really good. Here's Spotlight. Here's the Echo trailer. Here it is. And don't think about the whole variety stuff and all that kind of jazz.
I mean, you might be right on that. We gotta respond to this. I get that point. But it's cool. And maybe you're right. They last minute, but just change the logo.
Yeah, I doubt this is the permanent logo. I bet they're just throw something together really quick for people can shut up.
Imagine if we watch Echo episode 1 and all of a sudden it's playing this dark music. And then Marvel Spotlight. I'm like, no, this is not the same tone, Marvel. You drunks. Black Knight series. I mean, I think that's going to connect to Blade.
Yeah,
because that's Eternals. Spoiler. Watch Eternals. It's right there. They have the voice. What's his name? Because Blade said his name or whatever. You sure about that? Whatever. It's I was like, all right. Now that may change though, right? So
Eternals was a weird movie because it almost feels like we're never going back to Eternals. They haven't referenced it since.
They asked Kevin Feige about Harry. Yeah, they asked Kevin Feige Harry Styles. He's cool. We like him.
We'll get to him eventually.
Yeah, eventually we have like 20 other characters we have to deal with right now. Jesus.
Characters.
Too many characters. But yeah, I would think it's gonna connect to Blade at some point. Because I mean, you cast Kit Harington right off of Game of Thrones, you gotta use him. You gotta use him, I would think. Everyone knows who that is.
Yeah.
Bring him back. You know.
Naruto says, are you guys going to watch Scott Pilgrim next week? Are you a fan of like Scott Pilgrim at all?
I saw the movie a long time ago. You know, it's cool that they're making more content with it and they're bringing the actual cast back for it, but okay. I got too much other stuff to watch, right?
That's my thing. Like, it looks really good. I just don't know if I'll have time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really making a lot of time to watch stuff anyways, really, because I'm too busy applying for jobs or doing streams or making content, trying to make some sort of money. So, yeah. Outside of watching Invincible and stuff in my weekly shows, I really don't watch too much.
Sure.
So, that's me.
Here's Journey said, will 24 or 25 be better for movies or shows? I feel like it's too early to tell. We don't even know what's coming out next year.
2025.
That depends if some of that stuff is even still coming out, because there's a lot coming out that year.
Well, that's the thing. I think it's going to be better. Like, you're going to have more content, because 2024 is going to be a disaster.
Yeah.
Like, it's just going to be the remnants of what was pushed off 2024 coming out.
Yeah.
And then trying to scramble and get stuff out as soon as you can, but you're going to rush it in 2024 to get it out, because the studios lost a lot of money this year.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's the thing I'm kind of worried about, because a lot of this year's stuff or next year's stuff is getting pushed to 25. So it is possible the stuff in 25, Superman, Batman, Avatar, a lot of these things we're excited for, might have to get pushed back the following year. Either that
that's
or
true.
2025 would be insane, because like this year, last year especially, there was too much content from COVID that we're keep getting out, and no one wants to see everything that's coming out. So 2025 could be bad. Like, it's gonna be good because we're hyped, but like box office wise, it could be a lot.
It's gonna be a lot, yeah.
Let's talk about the Blade stuff. Blade finally rated R. Are you shocked by this? Are you shocked that it's rated R now?
A little bit, because Feige, back when they announced Multiverse of Madness, and like, it's like, rated R. He's like, no, PG-13. You're gonna like it. And I thought with that statement, he's stuck with that, except for Deadpool. Everything else is gonna be PG-13. Yeah. This kind of shows that maybe Disney's willing to take chances.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if it's because of the MCU not doing so well that they're trying to give their directors more of an opportunity to take risks or do something different. Because I bet if the MCU was still, every movie was hitting, they would not do this for Blade. They wouldn't do it. Because why? The formula is working, but the formula has not been working since Endgame. It's been kind of up and down, and partly due to the shutdown and not many people want to go, because streaming has changed everything and people go on how they view their content. But it's interesting. I'm glad that they're giving it the opportunity to do something, to try. But that was always the question: how do you do Blade PG-13? You could do it, but would it work? You know.
I mean, I understand why you maybe wouldn't want like an MCU movie to be rated R, because half of your audience are families, right? It's families going with their kids to see these movies. So I understand where like rated R, you're not going to take your like young son Jimmy to go see Blade or Deadpool. So that does cut off a lot of your funds. But also I think rumors that this movie is going to be a lot cheaper. It's going to be like under 100 million. I think Blade being a very iconic character, for a lot of people, a very personal character. I mean, he was one of the first like black superhero movies. Like, that was amazing for so many people. So I think cheaper budget, it's rated R now, a very personal character. Do it right. I don't know why it's so hard to make a Blade movie. This should have been.
It shouldn't be. It's
a very simple. I don't want to say simple concept, because you don't just want to do the same things that the original. But I feel like he's a very simple character. Like, there's not a lot. I don't understand.
Well, it'll definitely be cheaper, because I mean, it's not going to be like he's not going to be traveling to planets or flying around. No.
I think I talked about this last week. But a lot of these movies shouldn't need $200 million budgets. Doesn't need 300 is ridiculous, especially for Blade. Blade is insane. Like, Blade can be relatively cheap. like A24, like we had a guest on was talking about that. Like A24 puts out these phenomenal movies with these very small budgets, and they make it all back in like the first couple weekends.
I mean, Blade could easily be made for 100 million. Easily. Could be made for 80 million. I mean, Mahershala Ali is only your real main star right now.
Yeah.
That's in it that we know about. Other than that, I mean, you don't have to go crazy. And plus, you just build sets. It's going to be way cheaper than doing CGI that's constantly being shifted, because that's what costs more money. They keep changing the CGI. They keep changing the look and stuff.
Yeah.
Just, it's ridiculous. I froze again, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically just, if you build the sets, you're not having to do a bunch of CGI in post. If you just build the look of it. That's why the first Blade movies weren't that overly expensive, because they actually built sets. Yeah. Just do that again.
Hero's Journey said, what is your movie laws where you live? Can parents take less than 10-year-olds to rated R? Referring to Blade. Do you know this answer? Because I don't personally know the answer to this in my area.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have kids, so I don't know.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I saw my first rated R movie when I was like 17. Like, I didn't.
You bad boy. Ooh.
Oh, I know. Like, I didn't like scary movies, or it wasn't my thing. Very strict parents at home, so like that wasn't really a thing. So I have no idea. I never wanted to see like a rated R movie until I was like a teenager. So I don't know.
You're a good boy. You're like, I don't want to watch no bad movie. Oh yeah, give it a pound of head. Yeah. No, I mean, Blade. I'm excited for it. I hope. It seems like we're gonna get more for this movie. Again, the fact that it's still not out is insane to me. This was announced 3 years ago, and they're just now starting the script. Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
And last kind of main topic here, man. Marvel's Echo has released its first trailer, and the internet's blown away. Were you excited for this show before we saw the trailer?
No. Her character was fine in Hawkeye, but But that trailer was awesome.
Yeah.
And the fact that, I think what made it better is that they didn't tell us it was TVMA. While I'm watching them going, what is happening here? And there's a shot, and I went back to it. There's like a block door, like an actual cell door or whatever. And there's a guy who pulls a gun and shoots him and hits him right in the neck, just bam. Like he twists the gun and shoots him. And I'm like, this is PG-13. This is
that's insane.
PG-14. This is Disney Plus. And then because I saw the Hulu as well before I clicked on, I'm like, Hulu. I'm thinking they're just trying to get more people to potentially watch it because it's all dropping at once, and I'm like, no one's gonna watch this. We got to put it on both streaming. No, it's because it's TVMA. I'm like, oh my god. I love the reveal. I loved it. If you went in blind, had no idea besides saying Hulu, what, and watched it like I did, and was like, oh my god, that's why it's TVMA. That's why. This is so cool. It was a good reveal. And I love the tone of Dark Kingpin from Daredevil. And I love the fact that it's highlighting her, young and now. But it's really Kingpin. Obviously, she can't speak. But Kingpin's narrating the thing. Because, I mean, his connection to her, I mean, that makes sense why he's all over that trailer, too. He looks so good. I'm like, this is because in Hawkeye he was fine, but that wasn't. It was a different tone, and here it's like they're going back to Daredevil. I'm like, Jesus, all right, love it.
This feels like it's a sequel to like the Netflix shows. Like this feels like they pulled, I don't know what magic voodoo that they did to make this feel so separate to Hawkeye and I love Loki, but this is a very different tone than Loki.
They got Doctor Strange. She's like.
I mean, I'm genuinely so happy people are praising this movie or the series, this trailer, because I didn't say I was excited going into it because I didn't know anything about it. I don't know anything about Echo as a character. I didn't know I wasn't blown away from the Hawkeye show, but it made me very angry that everyone's like, this show should die. This show should go away. They should just cancel the show. I'm just like, you don't know anything about Echo. You don't know anything about the plot of the show. You don't know what it's about. Why don't you just give it a chance to at least let the trailer come out and then make up your mind? And this is why you don't like judge a book by its cover. Like it's weird. Like I hate when people say like, oh, like who asked for this show or who asked for this movie? Who asked for any movie? Who asked for Star Wars? Who asked for Jurassic Park?
That's true.
Let it come out. If you don't like it, then you can judge it. That's fine. And I'm very glad people are now like, okay, maybe they cooked here. Maybe there's something cool here.
I still don't understand that, but I've never really hardly said that they cooked.
When I was a boy, I made soup.
That was that's good. We made a similar joke because Gore on the stream last night, he said he was going to be Kingpin. So they made a joke because the King Kong game, the really bad King Kong game, he's like, when I was a boy, I found a King Kong game. It changed my life forever. Because we were like, Gore's going to play Kingpin. He's going to play the giant Kingpin from Into the Spider-Verse. This was the joke.
Yeah.
That's funny that you're like, when I was a boy. They're going to probably bring that back. They're going to have to bring that back. Maya, when I was a boy. Like, they're gonna do it again.
They have to. Oh, yeah.
That poster, by the way, you're highlighting, that's a really cool poster.
It's really good. It's a really good trailer or poster. Yeah. How much of this show do you think Kingpin is going to be a part of? Because I've heard rumors saying it's only like one episode. Obviously, the trailer, and I think they were very smart making him the center of the trailer. Obviously, we don't know much about Echo, and this is her show, and I want this to be her show, but also having him be like the front line of it all. I think was very smart.
I would say at least a couple. There's 5 episodes total. I would say at least maybe 2 or 3. And that's fine because really you don't want this to become the Echo show, but it's really a Kingpin show. Like you don't want that. You actually want it to be Echo. Yeah, I think it'd be a couple. I think Daredevil's the one that's gonna be like a cameo, like a small role. Like, But I think he's gonna have more of a highlight at least, or at least he'll be featured in certain important moments throughout the run of the 5 episodes because of the connection of them. So, but he'll be in enough to be impactful to her story because we're going to find out how she gets her abilities throughout the show. So,
I as excited as I am still nervous because I don't know if you've heard any of the rumors that the show was very much cut down. It was originally like a 6 or 7 episode show. Then now it's 5 episodes. There was rumors the show wasn't done, and Kevin Feige's like, well, it has to be done. So that all of that, and again, rumors. I don't like talk about rumors too much because we don't know. I wasn't there with Kevin Feige. I wasn't there with the directors and showrunners, or not showrunner. I didn't have a showrunner, but like all the people. So I hope it's good. I hope that they can avoid the like sins of the last couple shows that they've done. Again, I've liked a lot of these shows, but also a lot of them have not been great. There's been some issues with these shows, so
we'll see. You got to be hopeful, and if not, oh well, I keep checking Twitter.
See if that trailer
has dropped. Still nothing yet. I think they're making us wait till the last thing. I'm guessing.
Well, Chainsaw, we're heading towards the end here. It's been a really fun time talking. But before we go, our final segment of our show. We're here with Daren's joke of the day. Each week I trick my co-hosts here to witness a bad joke of mine. And this might be the most raunchy joke we've ever said on the show. Are you ready?
Sure.
Why was the wizard's girlfriend always covered in hickeys?
I don't know.
Because he's a neck romancer.
This is my hell.
And with that being said, thank you, Chainsaw. Thank you, Jordan, for coming on here today. This was a lot of fun. It was very fun having this one-on-one conversation with you. I guarantee everyone that's watching already knows about your channel, but just in case one of them is like, who is this guy? I've never seen him before. Where can people find you?
Where can people find me? Chainsaw. Did I phrase again? I froze again. I glitched. Yeah, I felt it. Because you're like,
well, that's it, Chainsaw.
Chainsaw reacts everywhere. Chainsaw reacts everywhere. There you go. I figured it. I was like, I knew it.
Yeah, no, you're honestly making so much good content currently. Like you have your council of creators where you're bringing on so many different guests. I've been on several times. It's always a real blast over there. You're always making reactions. You're always making videos. You're Ben 10 and Invincible and Generator Rex and X-Men Evolution. You're so much good stuff.
Yep.
And yeah, without being said, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, everyone who has been commenting. Laura was here. Hero's Journey was here. Taj was here. Norado was here. Robert was here. So many people here talking with us. It's always a pleasure. But without further ado, I will see you guys on the flip side. Bye-bye.